grade, it's me, Miss Belts, and we are going to work on math again today. So let's get started. Today, we are going to solve with Fluency one-step division word problems. How are we going to do that? We're going to review important vocabulary. We're going to use the problem-solving process to solve for our quotient using partial quotients. And why are we going to do this? Well, it's important for us to be able to see what numbers we're using to solve a division problem. Our important vocabulary for today, we have 3 words. They're the same words as last week. Our first word is division, and division means the process of sharing equally. We also have divide, that means to share or separate into equal groups or equal parts. And equal means to have the same amount. So we're going to be giving the same amount each time. So let's look at our first problem. Here's what it says. Liz practiced playing the piano a total of 875 minutes last week. If she played the same amount of time each of the 7 days, how many minutes did she play each day? Well, I know whenever I have a word problem, the first thing I have to do after I read it the first time is I have to read it again, and I have to highlight or underline the important information. So let's do that. Liz practiced playing the piano a total of 875 minutes last week. If she played the same amount of time each of the 7 days, how many minutes did she play each day? Well, I know it's important that it says total of 875 minutes last week. I also know it's important that she played the same amount of time each of the 7 days. And my question is always important, so how many minutes did she play each day? That's important. So I'm going to highlight all of that information. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our strip diagram. Remember, our strip diagram is a picture that helps us with what we're trying to do. So let's think about this. Do I know my total? Yeah, I know my total. It says total of 875 minutes last week. And how many days are in a week? That's right, there are 7 days. What am I looking for? I'm trying to figure out how many minutes she played each day. So my strip diagram is going to look like this. I know my total. It's 875 minutes, and I know there are 7 days. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The D stands for day. And I am looking for how many minutes she played each day. So I'm going to put a question mark in each of those boxes. After I do my strip diagram, I'm going to make my equation. So if I know my total and I know how many days she's going to do, am I going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? If you said divide, you are correct. So my equation is 875 divided by 7. And when I do that, that's going to give me my number of minutes each day. After I do my equation, I'm going to do an estimation. Remember, the whole reason I do my estimate is to make sure that my answer is reasonable. So if I have 875 divided by 7, I'm going to do 875 rounded to 900 because it's pretty close. And 7, that's a good number, but I'm going to go to 9 because I know my 9s. So I wrote them down over here. 9 times 1 equals 9. 9 times 10 equals 90. And 9 times 100 equals 900. Well, I just said that I wanted to solve 900 divided by 9. So if I do 900 divided by 9, using my fact family, since I know 9 times 100 is 900, I know that means she's going to play about 100 minutes each day. So now I'm going to solve, and I'm going to use partial quotients to solve. Last week we used our place value discs to help us, and we were basically doing partial quotients just with the visual. This week I'm going to take that away. But if you still need to do it, you know what to do because we did it last week. So let's look at this problem setup. I am doing 875 divided by 7. So I have 875 minutes and I'm dividing them into 7 days. The first thing I'm going to do whenever I'm at my solve stage is I'm going to write down my friendly numbers. So I know 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 10 is 70, 7 times 100 is 700. I also know my 5s. 7 times 5 is 35, 7 times 50, if I'm following the same pattern, is 350. And I also know 7 times 2 is 14. You might know some more of your 7s, and if you do, you could write them down also. So I'm going to look at this. I have 875. If I come over here, which number is the closest to 875? If you said 700, you're right. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take 700 away. So I have 875 minus 700. Over here, I'm writing down what it actually means. How did I got 700? So I'm going to say 7 times 100, just so I can remember. Now I'm going to subtract 875 minus 700. When I do that, I get 175. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Looking over here, what's the closest number to 175 without going past it? If you said 70, you're correct. So now I'm going to take away 70. So when I do 100, for whenever I have 70. So the way I got 70 is 7 times 10. So I wrote that down. Now I'm going to subtract 175 minus 70. When I do, I get 105. Again, I'm going to come over here, looking at my answers. Which one is closest to 105? That's right. If you said 70, you are correct. So remember, the way I made 70 is 7 times 10. So I'm going to subtract. Now, I could break this apart into expanded form if I needed to, but I'm going to use what I know about rounding. 105 is pretty close to 100. So if I count by 10 starting at 70, 70, 80, 90, 100, so there's 30, and I just have to put those extra 5 back on, so that means it's 35. So 105 minus 70 is 35. So again, I have 35 pieces, and I'm going to come over here and look. Which one is the closest number to 35 without going past it? Well, this time I got super lucky because I had 35, so I'm going to write 35. The way I made 35 was 7 times 5, and then when I subtract 35 minus 35, I get 0, so I'm done. But I still don't know what my answer is. That's why it was important that I was writing down all of these over here. So I am going to add all of the numbers that I multiplied times 7. So I'm going to add 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5. And when I do that, I get a quotient of 125. So I'm going to compare that to my estimate of 100. 125, that's pretty close. So I know that my answer is reasonable. So my answer is, how many minutes did she play each day? She played 125 minutes. So let's look at another one. Here's what it says. Miss Andrews will fly her plane 3,090 miles in 6 days. If she flies an equal number of miles each day, how many miles will she fly on the last day? Again, if I have a word problem, I have to read it again and find my important information. And I can highlight it or I can underline it. So let's do that. Miss Andrews will fly her plane 3,090 miles in 6 days. If she flies an equal number of miles each day, how many miles will she fly on the last day? Well, I know that 3,090 miles is important, 6 days is important, and I always know my question is important. So if she flies an equal number of miles each day, how many miles will she fly on the last day? I'm going to use this information to create my strip diagram. So what do I know? Do I know my total? Yeah, I know my total. It's 3,090 miles. She's not going any further than that. That's as far as she's gone. How many days is she going to do this in? Yeah, she's going to do this in 6 days. And what am I trying to figure out? I'm trying to figure out how many miles she'll fly on the last day. So I'm going to make my strip diagram, and this is what it will look like. I know my total, 3,090 miles. I know she flew it in 6 days, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm trying to figure out how many miles she flew each day. That's what the question mark is showing me. Now I'm going to do my equation. So if I know my total and I know how many days she's going to do, am I going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? That's right, I'm going to divide. So my equation would look like this. 3,090 divided by 6 equals question mark, which is the total number of miles. Now I'm going to do my estimation. So again, I'm going to find numbers that are pretty easy for me to use. So 3,090, pretty close to 3,000, and 6 is pretty close to 5. And then I'm going to write my friendly numbers beside it. So I said 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 10 is 50, 5 times 100 is 500. But I also knew that 5 times 6 was 30. And so if 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 60 is 300, and 5 times 600 would be 3,000. Well, that helps me because my estimate that I'm trying to figure out is 3,000 divided by 5. So since I knew my facts, that's going to help me. So 3,000 divided by 5 is 600. So I know she's going to fly about 600 miles each day. So let's actually solve this problem. So I'm going to set it up first. I clicked the button too many times, but that's okay. 3,090 divided by 6. So I have 3,090, and I'm going to break it apart into 6 equal groups. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down all of my friendly numbers for my 6's. So I'm going to say 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 10 is 60, 6 times 100 is 600, 6 times 5 is 30, 6 times 50 is 300, 6 times 500 is 3,000, and then I also know that 6 times 2 is 12. So I'm going to use this information to help me. I'm going to find the closest thing to 3,090. So when I look over here, the closest number I have to 3,090 is 3,000. So I'm going to put 3,000 over here, but I'm going to make sure to write my fact. 6 times 500 is what gives me 3,000, so I wrote it down. Now I'm going to subtract 3,090 minus 3,000. What is that? That's right, it's 90. So now I'm going to look at my numbers again, and I'm going to see which one is the closest to 90. So if I look really quick, the first one that I see that's closest to 90 is 60. And the way that I make 60 is 6 times 10. So I'm going to write 60 underneath my 90 and 6 times 10 on this side. And then I'm going to subtract. 90 minus 60 is 30. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to look over here. Which one is the closest to 30? Ooh, we're so lucky. We get excited. I'm so excited because I actually have 30. So that means that I'm going to write 30, and I'm going to write how I got 30, which is 6 times 5. And when I do 30 minus 30, I get 0, so then I know that I'm done. So now I'm going to use all the things that I multiplied times 6. So 500, 10, and 5. 500 plus 10 plus 5 gives me an answer of, that's right, 515. So I know my quotient to this problem is 515. And if I compare that with my estimation, 515 and 600 are pretty close together, so I know my answer is reasonable. So let's review what we talked about today. Today we talked about how to solve with fluency one-step division word problems. We reviewed important vocabulary. We used the problem-solving process to solve for our quotient using partial quotients. And we did this because it's important to be able to see what numbers we are using to solve a division problem. Now it's going to be your turn. You're going to do the same exact thing. There are going to be 2 word problems, and I want you to make sure you go through the entire problem-solving process and that you're using partial quotients to solve. This is what your page is going to look like. So you have 2 questions. So you're going to put your name, you're going to read the word problem, you're going to highlight or underline any important information, you're going to do your strip diagram, equation, estimation, and then you're going to solve. So this is the first problem, and this is the second problem. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. I know you're going to do an amazing job. Make sure you show all of your work, and I'll see you next time. Bye.